Hey guys, today we're taking a look at Hook's kit, what it does and how it works. So a quick reminder, this is information from the second closed beta. So Hook is a 4-star type character who focuses on inflicting fire damage over time. She's mostly single target, but she has a little bit of AoE and we'll touch on that later. She's particularly good at inflicting damage over time on single targets and then further punishing those enemies. All of Hook's kit scales off of her attack. And one more thing before you get into the kit, I apologize for not giving the base numbers for Herta's skills last video. Continuing forward, we're going to be giving all of the percentages for level 1 skills. Alright, so let's take a look at her kit. Remember, the percentages on screen are not going to match what I say because I'm going to be giving you all the base values of all of her skills at level 1. So first up is Hook's basic, standard 50% damage to single enemy. She has nothing extra with her basic. So for her skill, it's a single target attack that does 105% of Hook's attack to the enemy's fire damage, and additionally has a 100% base chance to inflict fire damage over time for 2 turns. And while they're burned, they take 22% of Hook's attack as damage over time. As you can see, compared to the numbers on screen, this skill scales really well. It increases a lot the more you level it up. Okay, next is Hook's ult. This does 220% of her attack to a single enemy as fire damage. Then after you use Hook's ult, it enhances her next skill. And basically what this enhanced skill does is it doesn't do damage to one enemy, it does damage to 3. So it's like a mini AoE. This skill does not do the same amount of damage to all 3. There isn't any information in the description, but I can tell you that each hit on each of the enemies has its own separate chance to crit. So it enhances the skill, it hits the main target and then the 2 adjacents, but the numbers are not the same. To be honest, I'm not sure how the adjacents damage scales compared to the main targets. Okay, next is her talent. When Hook attacks a target inflicted with burn, it does 45% of her attack as fire damage and then she regens 5 energy. So since Hook is mainly single target, this rewards her attacking the same target over and over again. So remember, burn status comes from her damage over time skill and also from her technique, which we're about to get to. So for Hook's technique, it's an ambush skill. It does 50% of her attack as fire damage to random enemy, and then there's a 100% base chance to inflict burn on all of the enemies for 3 turns. And this damage over time does 50% of her attack for 3 turns, compared to like her skill, which does at level 1 only does 22% of her attack. So Hook's kit is all about inflicting the burn status and then following up and attacking those enemies again with the burn status and then dealing additional damage. Okay, for her bonus stats, she gets attack boost, max HP, attack boost, another attack boost, crit damage, max HP, crit damage, attack boost, and then another max HP increase. For Hook's bonus abilities, the first one, when her talent is triggered, she restores 5% of her max HP. So if you remember, her talent, when she attacks an enemy that has burn, a percentage of her attack is fire damage, and then she regens 5 energy. So now with this bonus ability, when you trigger it, you're already attacking an enemy that has the burn status. It does more damage, then she restores HP, and she restores energy on top of that. So with this ability, her passive does 3 things. It deals damage, restores energy, and restores HP. Her second bonus ability, her resistance to crowd control debuffs is increased by 50%. And her last bonus ability, when you use her ultimate, her action is advanced by 25% and she restores 10 energy. So advancing her action just puts her higher up and affects the turn order. Okay, next we'll take a look at her light cone. So her path is the destruction. Hook's signature light cone is called the Moles Welcome You. For every basic skill and ult used by wearer, she gains 1 stack of Mischievous, and each stack of this increases her attack by 12%. In the text, there's no limit to this, and even in my testing, I think I've seen this stack up to 10 times. It's a pretty big increase. Remember, this is only super imposition level 1, basically refinement level, so I don't know how much this increases, but this 12% can shoot up pretty high. This is really strong for Hook, for being a 4-star. I know this is her signature light cone, but I do think this is the strongest one you could put on her by far. So as for other light cones, there are actually only 2 4-star light cones available right now that we know about. There's obviously her signature one, the Moles Welcome You, and there's one other one. It's called a Secret Vow, and it increases damage dealt by wearer by 20%, and then another 20% to enemies that have a higher HP than the wearer. So this one isn't as good, but these are the only 2 4-star light cones that we know about. Her signature light cone is going to be the best one for her, in my opinion, of course. Okay, lastly, let's take a look at her Eidolon levels. Level 1, her enhanced skill deals 40% more damage. Remember, this is 40% more damage, not a 40% attack increase or anything. So whatever your skill percentage of your skill is, it'll be 40% of that as extra damage, not necessarily a 40% increase. There's a little bit of a difference. Level 2, it extends the duration of burn caused by skill for 1 turn. Normally, her skill causes burn for 2 turns, so it becomes 3 turns of damage over time. Level 4, when her talent is triggered, there's a 100% base chance to burn the target and the adjacents for 2 turns. This does 50% of her attack as damage over time. Remember, in order to trigger her talent in the first place, the enemy already has to have the burn status. So depending on how many turns left the burn has on the enemy, you can do double burn, or you can refresh the burn that's on the enemy, and you can inflict a burn on the adjacents. This is helpful because Hook is mainly single target anyway, so being able to spread the burn status is pretty good. And lastly, level 6, Hook deals plus 20% more damage to burning enemies. Personally, I think level 4 is probably the strongest Eidolon level available for her. I mean, all of them are great, of course, but if you have level 4, then that means you have level 2, of course. I know that is silly to say, but with the extended burn from her skill and then her talent triggering to inflict a burn again, I didn't have her level 4 in the beta, but this seems really strong. As for level 1, she's gonna do more damage the higher that her skill level is, right? Because the 40% more damage scales off of the original skill percentage. So obviously that's strong as well. It just depends on how high you have Hook leveled up. That's it for the overview of Hook's kit. She's pretty independent. She can fit really with anyone. But I think next I'll be covering Sampo, and Sampo is a also support character who weakens, and he can amplify the damage over time effects. So as far as like affordable characters, because Sampo's a 4-star, Sampo deals damage over time, so he's amplifying his own damage, and then additionally he would be amplifying other characters' damage over time. But of course we'll save that for Sampo's overview. So if you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, subscribe if you liked the video. Make sure to follow me on Twitch, where I stream almost every night. And thanks for watching. See ya.